The Last Call. Detective John Castle had seen it all. Robberies, murders, cold cases, but this one was different. It started with a phone call at 2 a.m. "Please, I think my husband's been murdered." Woman's shaking voice whispered, "I'm locked in the basement. I can't get out. Please hurry." John's heart raced. He scribbled down the address and sped to the scene. As he arrived, officers were already on site. The house was eerily quiet, the lights dim, and the front door slightly ajar. Inside, they found the woman, Kate, sitting on the basement steps, pale and wide-eyed. She was shaking, her clothes disheveled. There was no sign of her husband, Marcus, in the house. "Where is he?" John asked, trying to keep her voice calm. "I don't know. I heard a noise. I came downstairs, and I found him lying there in the hallway, but when I ran to the phone, I heard footsteps behind me. I hid in the basement, and I called you." Kate was frantic, tears streaming down her face. John nodded for the officers to search the house while he spoke to Kate, trying to make sense of the situation. As the search went on, a detective came back to report. No body, no blood, no sign of a struggle. "It's like he vanished." John frowned. He knew that wasn't right. Something didn't add up. If Marcus had been murdered, why was there no trace, no blood, nothing? Then, as Kate was being led to the squad car, the telephone in living room started ringing. "Detective Castle?" "Yes, on the phone. This is Dr. Carter from County General. We have a Marcus Smith in our unconscious and badly injured, but there's something strange. He keeps mumbling, 'It's over. She knows.'" John froze. "She knows." John rushed to the hospital, heart pounding. When he entered Mark's room, he was met by a somber-faced nurse who explained that Marcus had suffered a blow to the head, but his injuries weren't life-threatening. He was barely conscious. "Marcus," John said, kneeling beside him, "who did this to you?" His eyes fluttered open, and he muttered, "Kate, she knows." John's breath caught in her throat. "Kate," he thought, but Marcus's next words chilled him to the bone. "She set it all up. She tried to kill me." It was then John realized Marcus wasn't the victim, he was the perpetrator. Marcus had orchestrated his own murder to escape his wife's growing suspicions about his affair and the money he'd been embezzling. He'd staged the scene to make it look like someone was after him. But the moment Kate discovered his secret, she knew he planned to disappear, leaving her with nothing. Marcus had faked his death, but Kate hadn't fallen for it. The murder was all a lie, and now Marcus was left to explain why his plan had backfired. The real shock came later, when John reviewed the security footage. Kate had never left the house. She had never been locked in the basement. It was Kate, not Marcus, who had made the final call, and she'd made sure Marcus knew she was the one who would outwit him all along. It was Kate, not Mark, who had pulled the strings. She was the one who truly had known all along. He immediately went back to Smith's house to arrest Kate, but she had disappeared. All her belongings, photos, everything was gone, as if she had never existed. It was already evening, so John decided to go back home since there was nothing more to be done for now. As he walked down the street, he couldn't stop thinking about everything that had happened. When he stepped inside his home, something felt off. Suddenly, John heard a crack behind him. A hard metal object struck him in the head. He fell to the floor, and as his vision blurred, he saw Kate standing in front of him. "You're clever," she said coldly, "but being clever sometimes isn't enough."